Going live. We are live. All right. We have decided to make a change here on YouTube with how we're doing the show. Rather than editing it, it will just be live. So today we're doing it as a Hangouts on Air. We'll go ahead and do the normal start for the show. This is Atheist Nomads, episode 153. I will figure out a clever name for this at some point with Shelley Segal.
The podcast you're about to listen to includes cursing and talking about hoo-haws. Please be advised.
We are the Atheist Nomads, bringing you history, science, politics, religion, and interviews with leaders in the atheist community. Not all those who wander are lost. Welcome to another episode of Atheist Nomads. I am Dustin. Joining me as always is Wesley.
You breathing? How are you?
Hey. And joining us today is Shelley Segal. Shelley, welcome back.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Oh my God, it's been too long.
We last had you on episode 17.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Great
Job. 153. Pretty good.
That was 136 episodes ago. That episode went up on
December. That's at least
27th.
7 episodes later.
You don't look a day older.
That episode went up December 27, 2012. So it's been a while.
So what? You're still like 23?
Let's not get into this, Wesley. I'm younger than you.
We all are. We all are. So, Shelley, what have you been up to for the last 4 years?
Well, I've been pretty busy. And actually, it's really nice to come back after such a long time, because I think when I met you guys and when I first spoke to you, I was kind of just entering the secular community and getting to understand and become involved with the secular movement here in the United States. And I'd played at the Reason Rally and done like a little tour. Well, it was a 3-month tour, but I mean, now I'm on these little tours back in the past. No, so yeah, so since then I've 4 years touring the United States and a little bit of England and all around Australia. And it's it's been a great adventure. I've released another 4 records since then.
Shit.
Wow.
And I feel I've moved to America. I live in Los Angeles. I moved here about a month ago. My first gig as a resident was the second Reason Rally in Washington, D.C. on June 4th at the Lincoln Memorial.
Awesome.
And it was amazing. So it's nice to be back, because now I feel like I have this really deeper, broad knowledge of the secular community here in the US.
So that
is so badass.
We've had 4 Australians on the show at this point, and 2 now have moved to the US.
Who's that?
Nick Morganmore.
Yeah, who is the other one? Oh,
Nick Morganmore.
Yeah. The man with the beard.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's interesting. How are you liking the States?
I love it. I feel like it's really great.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you spent a lot of time here last few years.
I have probably at least half my time here.
So, wow.
I mean, it's still a bit of a transition when you move to a place, as opposed to just traveling in it, and all the admin kind of everyday, day-to-day stuff that you got to do. So I'm still learning more about your culture and your customs and your ways, but I love it.
Yeah, but you got to learn all those awesome things about going to the DMV.
Oh yeah, I went to the DMV. That was exciting.
Oh wow,
it's great.
Oh my goodness.
I got my driver's license. I was really nervous. I had to do a behind the wheel test, and I've been driving over 10 years, but you have if you have an international license, you have to resit it. So I was just really nervous, but I got it. I was very excited. Milestone.
Yeah, well, even just driving on the other side of the road, I did that once in Jordan, and it was weird. So how is that going the other way in California of all
the thing is
places?
that, yeah, well, in the same way that I've been here over the last 4 years. When I go on tour, I'm often driving
Mm.
from city to city, so I'm pretty used to it by now. But actually, on the first time that I came here and drove on the opposite side of the road was in 2012, and I traveled up the coast on Highway 1. So I was bloody terrified because not only are you on the other side of the road and having to adjust like your car seat being on the other side and the barriers being like really close to you, and every oncoming, well, the opposite traveling traffic looks like it's just about to smash right into you.
Mhm.
I was also on Highway 1. So
Yeah, lots of
on the edge
beautiful
of a cliff
cliffs.
mountain, and I'm like, don't look at the view, don't even look, just look at the road. But it was really beautiful.
Nice.
Oh man, first time I drove
Yeah,
on the
that's a great first time.
yeah. My
Like,
first
at
time-
least I'm gonna have a beautiful view as I just.
Yeah. If it's the last thing you see, it's
At least it's pretty.
yeah, it's a good choice.
Yeah, my first time driving on the right side from the right side of the car was in Amman, Jordan, and I was only going a couple miles, but I had to go through this roundabout that was 5 lanes, 7 cars across. At that point, they'd only had
No.
lanes as for a couple years, so especially in roundabouts, nobody cared about that, and it was completely packed. Everybody was doing like 50 kilometers an hour through this roundabout, and packed so incredibly tight, and I had to get out of there, and I was so afraid I was going to die, but I made it. Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
And you went to Morocco as well, right?
Yes, I've been to Morocco. I went there as a teenager, and I visited Marrakesh and Essaouira, and it was a really exciting time for me. It was a beautiful country, and it was very vibrant and colorful, and I had this really intense experience there. And so I wrote a song about it called Morocco, and then I went back there and I shot the video clip, and I released that about 2 years ago now. My song called Morocco is from my third record, An Easy Escape. And yeah, that had some pretty mixed results, mixed responses, which was pretty interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even see how that could be a mixed response. I mean, that was an awesome song, and the video was beautiful.
Thank you very much. Well, it was really funny because, my first record, which I spoke to you about the first time, was called An Atheist Album. And I didn't think it was contentious because, it's just me saying my opinion and my thoughts and feelings. But I can also see how people would find an album called An Atheist Album and calling, I don't know, kind of calling out the Bible and some of the religious beliefs within them. Yeah, I can see how people could think that was contentious. So I was like, all right, my controversial stuff is done. Now I'm just, I'm just going to sing my heart out about my experiences. And yet it was not over. I released Morocco. I put the video clip up online, and I woke up in the morning and it had 5,000 views and am I allowed to swear?
Yes, yes.
Of comments that were just, you're disgusting, you fat cow, you racist, da, 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 da. So it was really interesting. Wow. I was like, what's, where is this coming from? So I Googled my name and fat cow. No. I Googled my name and I found this article from Morocco that said, I translated the heading into young Australian songwriter
Go ahead and
denounces the kingdom of Morocco.
Hello? Yeah, sorry about that. Little glitch.
Cool.
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so cool that Australian singer-songwriter denounces the kingdom of Morocco.
Wow.
Now, there was 2 things that were interesting. One is that they called me young and it's in print, so I'm going to hold on to that. Yeah.
You should.
And and the other one is like, I never denounced the kingdom of Morocco. I wrote a song that, basically it talks about me going to this beautiful, beautiful city and beautiful country. It's really easy for a tourist to get around. You know, when you go somewhere and there's like these tourist conveyor belts where it's just easy for you to get everywhere. And it was beautiful holiday for me. And then as my time there went on, I started to see what it was like for some of the local people who lived there. And the lack of opportunities for young people in employment, and a lot of the way that the religion influences equality between the sexes over there, and just a lot of different issues. And so I started to see this massive contrast between what the experience of Morocco was like for me as a traveler, as a tourist, compared to the people that were living there and who were providing me with this fantastic, amazing time. And then a lot of the time people would offer me hashish. I think that's a big, there's a lot of weed tourism, people that come there, to get Moroccan hashish. And that wasn't my purpose for being there, but everyone was offering it to me. And again, I'm saying questioning in the song, what is it that I need to escape? What do I need to have a good time for? I've actually got no problems. And again, looking at that contrast between myself and the people who are offering me this good time. So I thought it was, a cool introspective song, but apparently not. And it was great. It was really interesting time. I guess as a songwriter, you really want a strong response from what you say. So some people were really angry and really offended. Some people were really happy. There was a cool article about it in the Moroccan World News. And they said that this is a great opportunity to have interesting discussion about some of the issues that are going in Morocco, and that music is a great medium to start discussions that might otherwise be difficult for a population to have. And so I was really grateful for that. And, it was in the news in Australia as well. The funny thing was that they had it on the front cover of the Entertainment in The Age, which is one of the big papers in my state. And they had a stock picture of me and my dad from another article that they'd written about us. And it said, Segal causes drug furor in Morocco. And I was like right next to my dad's head. And I'm like, take that, Dad. You're causing an international drug furor. And he's like, why am I in this photo? But they play that song on Moroccan TV all the time, and
smuggle a kilo of hashish in his violin.
yeah, exactly. So that was exciting. I like all different things.
So you said they play it on TV there all the time. So obviously, not everybody was offended by it.
No, I think a lot of people were. And I guess obviously a fat cow must be a very common insult in Morocco, because that was what everyone called me. Now my dad calls me FC for short sometimes.
Does he really?
Yeah. And I learned not to feed the troll. There was just so many hateful comments. And then someone wrote, oh, I feel so bad, reading these comments for Shelley, because she must be really upset. And I don't usually respond, but I wrote to this guy. I was like, don't worry, I'm not upset. I'm just upset exist, but I'm sitting around laughing at these comments with my friends. One of them was like, come to Morocco and I'll give you head in a public toilet. Like they're funny. and like, I'm not upset. Even my dad calls me fat cow as a joke now. And then I shouldn't have said that, because then people were like, see, she is a fat cow. Even her dad calls her a fat cow. Like, and then someone else is like, that's abuse. Nobody should call Shelley a fat cow. That's not fair. No. Shelley's dad's really bad. And it was just a funny time.
Nice.
Wow.
With that kind of trolling, you need to be able to laugh at it and get a thick skin.
Great. You trolled yourself, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put this out here because a couple weeks ago, I got some face masks that look really cool. They have like little patterns on them. I got a kabuki mask, got a couple cats, and other stuff. And so I had a shaving accident last night. So that's why I'm clean shaven now. So we are totally going to do face masks later.
Did you bring the masks?
Yeah,
Why are we starting the show wearing the masks? Come
I was
on.
kind of thinking that. That'd be kind of cool. This is gonna be fun. We will have to take pictures. Maybe. Oh man. Yeah, so yeah, definitely no hashish tonight. Oh boy.
You are in
Anyway,
Washington after all.
This is true.
That stuff's just not allowed there.
Do
Yeah.
you guys have weed tourism in that way? Like, do people come here
Oh, I'm sure we do.
because of the
Probably
laws of
Colorado more.
recreational smoking?
I don't know. I would think that Colorado might have it more because one, I don't think there's any states like closer to the east than Colorado that has legal weed. And I don't know.
Colorado's gotten all the
Close to the-
attention about it.
Definitely. Definitely. But yeah, I just think Washington State is a much better overall state. So yeah, probably.
It's really beautiful here. I love it here.
That's the plan.
Oh, you're trying to get
Maybe
her to
move
move up.
Get all famous. Yeah. Man. Yeah, so let's see. Albums. 4 albums now. So you had your Atheist album.
Mhm.
What came after that? The one with Morocco.
Then I worked on a project with Adam Levy, who is a fantastic singer-songwriter, also based in LA. And he played with Tracy Chapman for quite a few years, and he played with Nora Jones. And he has his own stuff too, like country and Americana and jazzy folk, just a bit of everything. And yeah, we sat in a hotel room for a week together, and we wrote a record, and we recorded it in downtown LA. And so that was my second record. That was Little March. And then my third record was An Easy Escape, which had Morocco on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year I released an EP called Strange Feeling. And yeah, that was great. That went really well. The single from that was Sideline, which was kind of a reflection on body image and the nature of our aesthetics and branding. Actually, I was going through a time where I was looking at my image as an artist and deciding how I wanted, or just realizing that that is a very important part of being an artist, is having an image, whereas I hadn't really focused on that before, because it's, for me, it's always just about the music, but that is a big part of the industry, and being part of the industry. And I'm also a small business owner. I run a record label, True Music, with my dad, and we need to consider all those kinds of things for our artists. So, I can't just leave me out of that. And so I that song was kind of a way for me to discuss that openly and show my fans what I was thinking about. And the clip's really cool. It's kind of me getting my makeup done and showing, the difference in the way that you look over the course of the video. And then there's the two girls, like the two versions of me, one I made up and one with makeup, and kind of comparing them. And, it's the girl that's made up that takes the guitar and leaves the house because that's what she has to do. And then, but also not just so much from the personal perspective, but from the broader perspective of the extent to which the aesthetic expectations that are placed on us by society impact our lives. Because I think, body image is a really interesting discussion. And I think body positivity is really important, and representation of different bodies in the media is really important. And it's a big topic at the moment. But a lot of the time with that stuff, people say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's what's inside that counts. But what I'd come to realize through my own journey is that it does matter. Maybe we wish that it didn't, or we think that it shouldn't because we think we value character more in some way. But the reality is that the way that we look will profoundly affect our outcomes. And studies show that in the first second that you meet someone, you already make 7 decisions about whether you trust them, how much money they earn, where they come from, before they've had a chance to open their mouth and give you a little bit of the kind of person that they are. So it is, undeniably part of the framework of our lives. So just, kind of accepting that, but looking at it in a critical way and saying, is this something we can overcome and how can we overcome it? And part of that, I think, is having discussions about it.
Well, that first impression is direly important, apparently, still. So, yeah, work the system until you can change it.
Yeah.
It is so interesting how much it changes from culture to culture and over time. Like the ideal body of ideal woman's body of today in our society has curves, whereas 20 years ago the ideal woman didn't, and 50 years ago the ideal woman by modern standards would be obese.
Yeah.
And that's just for America.
It's funny.
Go to China.
One example I always think about is eyebrows. So the fashion for women's eyebrows now is to be really thick. And some of my girlfriends who, when they were younger, the fashion was for them to be very thin. So they would go and get their eyebrows waxed and plucked and made very thin. And now that the fashion is for it to be thick, they can't grow their eyebrows out because they spent so much time making it to the fashion that now they can't be fashionable. So I was joking with one of my younger cousins. I said, don't wax, don't do anything, keep your arm hair. You'll never know when it's going to be in fashion. We'll be getting giant mascara rolls for our legs and, really making it stand out.
Nice.
Who knows what's coming. And I was having a discussion with my friend last week who works in AI, and, we were saying, when we're cyborgs, how are aesthetics going to come into it? What's the fashion going to be?
Little blue blinky lights. It's always blue. Blue's best. Red looks so angry. Man.
But man, yeah, that is such a big topic, and it gets weird and complicated, and there's nuance that needs to be at play, because there's certain levels where, yeah, you shouldn't be an asshole. Straight up, you just should not be an asshole. But we should also not be encouraging people to be too skinny or too overweight to where it's going to be causing health problems. The society needs to find a balance. I don't think we're anywhere near that point right now. I think we're getting to a healthier place as far as how we handle it, but we're definitely not to where the ideal should be.
Well, I think we're getting better at, not talking shit about people's bodies, but as far as like healthy choices, as far as what we do and what we eat, no, fuck no, we're light years away from.
But what's available to people? I mean, what I'm learning here, with rates and stuff like that, it's cheaper to go out to McDonald's than to cook for your family. What are people's options here to have healthy diets? And as well, it's more than just about weight. It's talking about. So for me, I was talking about from a weight perspective, because that was what really informed a big part of my opinion on it, because that's my personal experience of how I don't fit into the norm. And so, I have a body which I like, which is irrelevant or not if I do, but I do just for
it's irrelevant if anybody else does, but it's good that you like your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the media is projecting an image to me of what the ideal body is. And so all of a sudden in the song, I have the wrong body, and my body is wrong, not because I want it to be, but by this system and standard that is set up from outside of myself. And so that's why I think it's, representation in the media is really important for a broad range of bodies and types. And so not even just in terms of the body positive movement, if we're talking about people, differently abled people, how often are they represented in media and advertising in television shows? How if you don't see yourself reflected in the media, then again, you have the wrong body. If your sexual orientation is not represented in the media, at least to the representative, like to the percentage that it is reflective of the wider population, then then you're not fitting into what is beauty, what is the correct image. If how much you're sitting away from those expectations, what is a woman, how are women presented in media. If I'm not conforming to those standards of what a female is or what a male is, then again, that's going to affect your outcome of your life, and the media is what's shaping our norms, and so it's informing the way that we feel about ourselves.
That's a big reason why I don't watch TV. I mean, I sure I watch movies on occasion, but as far as like just general, all that stuff that's on regular TV, I just don't watch it, and I think most of it's just really valueless because it does give the wrong impression to a lot of people.
But movies are worse because they're paying top dollar, so they can be a lot pickier about which actors and actresses they get than TV shows.
Well, what about this year with the Oscars? Not one black nominee.
Oh,
in the whole Oscars. What is that saying about whose stories we want to listen to in America, and
who has value?
And
it's all representation. And is it saying that? And there's that endless question of who is the media a reflection of us? We're creating the media. Is the media creating us? But regardless of where it starts, those stories and those perspectives are not getting the attention and validation as being fully human that they deserve to be.
Yeah. And lacking that validation is definitely unhealthy because, that's going to be detrimental to people's mental health. Their self-esteem has the risk of pushing people towards depression or making that worse, and that's just bad across the board. Yeah,
and hard for if someone is a bit different, if you are a trans person or you identify in something that's not the traditional way your family's used to. If it's not normalized, how going to be acceptance in their families and their wider communities? Did you guys see Jesse Williams' speech the other day? It was really cool. He's on Black Entertainment Television. He gave a really, really powerful speech.
No, do tell. What some details?
Just
totally putting you on the spot.
Yeah, totally on the spot. But what was he saying? Just one of the parting things that he said was, just because we're magic doesn't mean we're not real. And I thought that was really powerful, and about just about the using and appropriation of Black culture and Black people, Black bodies, and taking that back. And it was powerful and empowering to see, and I wish that was part of our mainstream dialogue as opposed to in a different space where we're not everyone seeing it. Well, I think it went viral, like a lot of people saw it.
Nice.
I've taken us on a tangent now.
I was just thinking about cultural appropriation, and that there's a lot of shit talked about, like Black women's hair or their bodies, and then white people or other races do the same thing, and then they're so cool and hip, and it's kind of really sad, kind of pathetic, really, that we can't just love everybody just a little bit.
It's an interesting discussion with cultural appropriation because, there's no definitive right or wrong answer of what you should wear or how you can dress, or if it's wrong or right. And some people from this culture say you can, and some people say you can't. There's no definitive answer, but just looking broadly, if we can find a way to make sure that the generators of a cultural idea are the ones that are receiving the money for that creation or that art or that idea, but that's tied into so many problems with inequality. It's like certain communities or parts of society are set up that they're going to be the ones that can monetize any kind of idea. So I think it's a combination of personal decisions and deciding how you dress or not dress, or just your own personal engagement with it, but then from a broader institutional perspective as well. Like, I used to have dreadlocks, and I felt great wearing them and I loved them, and but it was an interesting issue. Now that I don't have them anymore, I guess the way I feel about it is, if you want to participate, if for me, because it's personal for me, if I want to participate in a culture, that's perfectly fine, but then what are you doing to give a voice to that culture as well? If you want to be part of it and you identify with it, and you enjoy it, you like it, what are you doing to give voice to people within that culture, and what are you doing to empower the people within that culture? That's how I feel about it now.
God damn.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back in just a little bit. We love hearing from our listeners. You can email us at contact@atheistnomads.com, tweet us @atheistnomads, send us a message on our Facebook page at facebook.com/atheistnomads, or better yet, call us and leave us a message at 541-203-0666. We might even play it on the show. You can also help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or your podcast directory of choice. Okay, so
I want to give a quick shout out. Hello, Daniel Lee. Right. Fuck you. Love you. All right. See you in a week or two. Because he's watching live in his TV,
nice.
because science.
Awesome.
And probably a Chromecast.
Chromecast makes it easy, but there's lots of other ways to watch on YouTube from your TV.
Point. That's $35 well spent.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, what is this I heard about giving music lessons last night?
Oh yeah, we had a jam. Last night, me and MJ.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Oh shit.
You missed out big time.
Oh, no. You guys are going to be playing here later, right? Yeah. Play a song.
Both?
Not you? Well,
Bye,
I know that I know Shelley's definitely going to play a song for us here in a little while. Yeah, so enjoy it. Ooh.
So how was the Reason Rally? Neither of us were able to
amazing.
go, and I was at the 2012 Reason Rally, but wasn't able to make it to this year's.
It was great. I mean, the location was really
And we lost them.
anyway.
Marbles, Brands, hello.
Oh, you're back.
Hello. Hi.
You disappeared.
Well,
we could hear us.
we could hear you too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just saying that, but the same as 2012, the atmosphere was really electric, and it's a special event for so many reasons. I feel like, it's putting that message out there. It's normalizing atheism and secularism, but also it's fostering community and solidarity and creating a space where people who, for many of them, for the majority of their lives, can't be open about their beliefs in their communities and their families. So, here's one day in 4 years, maybe, where they get to go and be surrounded by people that share their worldview and be able to be open and outspoken about it. And that was pretty cool. That was exciting. And a lot of great organizations were there. and what's it called when you run a tent? Not tendering.
Well, I know that there was a lot of groups.
Vendoring, yeah.
Vendoring?
Yeah, there are a lot of vendors there that
Oh,
were,
okay.
really great organizations, Black non-believers, ex-Muslims, communities, just showing people, particularly in communities where it's harder to come out as an atheist, or so much of that community is tied into the church. So just showing that there's a space for them and a community for them. Also a group called Recovering from Religion was there, and I love those guys, do a bit of work with them. Their hotline is an amazing resource to people all over the country who can call up and talk, get peer support in regards to issues to do with faith or doubt, or something. If someone they know is going through something, then it's just a space for them to reach out and talk about things they might otherwise not be able to talk about again with their families or communities.
So in your travels though, over these last few years since, first time we talked and now, how do you think the atheist community is doing? Because you can kind of get around and see what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's been so cool. Like I've been to 25 states now, and I've seen the community from a grassroots level, and it's really exciting. I feel really, really positive about the future for secularism in this country because of meeting all the people that I'm meeting and seeing all the groups that I get to play for. For example, the 13 people in Baton Rouge in Louisiana who do school drives or clean the highways, atheists on the highway, and some people are working, just as I said, like similar to the Reason Rally, just to normalize atheism, just to participate in their wider community under the banner of an atheist or people without beliefs. The idea that those kind of people aren't devil worshippers, they're just average everyday citizens that care about their community and want to participate. Then there's other groups around the country that are just a support network for people who have left religion. I've done gigs with Recovering from Religion groups, and just like 15, 20 people in a house and playing songs, and we take turns going around the group, everyone telling stories about their experiences, and it's just amazing to see the support resources that are set up for people who are basically walking out of, in some cases, cults to be in America. They feel like tourists in their own country because it's the first time they're able to watch television or, go outside or listen to music and participate in their wider culture. So, and then there's groups that are more politically active. Recovering from Religion organization have a legal team round the clock who are working to push back against, unfair legislation, the battle, the culture wars that are happening in the legal world. And there's some amazing organizations doing amazing things. And then as well, over the 4 years, I've seen it kind of change a bit. The conferences seem to be, so they'll have atheist or secular or free-thinking humanist conferences all over the country, usually at the state level and some national levels for the bigger organizations. And they, I think, traditionally had more of just speakers, scientists, politicians, activists, but I feel like they're starting to foster a bit more of a community vibe. So when I started playing music, a lot of the time that was one of the first times they'll have music or entertainment. But now, every conference has comedians and an art show and a couple of different singers, and so there's this real culture, I feel, that's coming out of the conference movement now, anyway, which is interesting and beautiful. And I think it is going to speak to a wider array of people who are looking for different things from a movement. I've also seen a real effort from the community in terms of trying to accommodate diversity, like, the movement is changing demographically, and so they're working hard to reflect that in the speakers. I mean, now,
So it's not just old white males anymore.
yeah, exactly. You go to a
Yeah.
conference now and it's like half female speakers and people of color, people of all different backgrounds and different voices coming through. And I think they're doing a really good job. Like, I think there's a lot of movements that are going through the same growing pains now where the demographics are changing and maybe they were traditionally white male dominated spaces, and so they're adjusting, and yeah, that's been cool to see as well. I know it's very controversial in the in the blogs, that whole thing.
I just don't understand why it should be controversial. I mean, not only just white old males are atheists.
I think it's hard. I think it's really hard. This is why I'm a musician and not a politician. It's really hard to dictate behavior, and it's hard for people it's hard for people to be told how they should speak, and they don't want to, and I understand that too. And so you got to find a balance. I mean, there's people I know, like, complete freedom of speech, and they don't want to be told what to do. They're good people, and they'll push all the boundaries. That's just the kind of people that they are, and they want to be able to be themselves freely in different situations, and I respect that. But then also there's people that want to come to a community event and feel, that don't want to feel aggression towards them. They don't want to be made to feel unsafe. They want their safety considered. So, those are both really valid perspectives, and it must be hard for organizers and people that, create policy for conferences and groups, and, that would be hard to decide and determine and create the wording of those policies. So I'm not envious of those people.
Totally.
All right. Got time for break?
Yes, it is.
All right.
So yeah, we'll take our last break, and then we'll be back with the rest of the interview and some music.
Hooray.
Yeah,
If you like the show, consider giving us some financial support. We make it really easy with one-time donations or to support us on a per episode. Oh shit. Oh. Links on the right page. One more episode. Oh, yeah. Dustin?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Did Meredith trip on something?
Oh yeah.
What fell?
The power cord
Oh.
to plug in everything.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so I saw everything go dim for a second, but it's still back on. It's still on. So
All right. Yay.
Hey.
So how's the how's your experience going with the music community? Are you finding that, like, since you've spent quite a bit of time traveling across multiple different countries, how's the American music industry?
It's the best in the world. I'm not just saying that to suck, like, that's why I'm here. I mean, no, I'm that's why I've moved to Los Angeles, because that's where it's at. That's the biggest driving part of the music industry. Wesley was trying to convince me to move here. I know that you guys have.
I don't need to convince you.
Yeah, I know. I want. I'm gonna move up, from LA, just slowly.
Yes.
Every year, a couple of miles, until I get here. But it's yeah, it's amazing. It's so different than Australia. There's just so many more people here. You could just
And trees.
Yeah. Here, I could go on the road for 3 months and I can play a show, get up in the morning, get in my car, drive a couple of hours, be in another city, another town, get out, play another gig, and I can just do that every day for 3 months. I can't do that in Australia because There's just not that many people, not that many towns, not the population. I mean, I love
Yeah.
Australia and I love touring in Australia, but
Well, in the middle
in
of
terms of
Australia is just barren death.
Full of a lot of things that want to kill you.
There's no
Yeah.
bears. There's no bears. That's the other thing I've heard the most of while I've been here. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, I really want to come to Australia. It's on my bucket list, but everything's gonna kill me. Like you guys have
Yeah.
those spiders." I'm like, "You guys have bears, you know." What's the lions and tigers and bears? It's
Yeah,
not like
you can see a bear coming.
yeah.
I was just in Glacier
Yeah, but
National
you
Park.
can't
and
outrun it. You can't stand on it. And anyway,
we had
like,
we had a
I live
grizzly.
in I live in the
camp.
city I lived in Melbourne in Australia, and I see as many spiders here as I do there. It's not like
Yeah, but
you
our
know,
spiders aren't going to kill you.
some of them will.
Nah,
And everyone's like, "Oh, and snakes. And you guys have rattlesnakes?"
no, we don't.
Oh, you don't.
Where I'm at, we do.
Okay, well, Eastern Washington does. Yeah.
But yeah, it's an old discussion. I get hit with it so many times. I want to make one of those, clickbait pages where it's like 25 things that will kill you in America, because I see it from Australia
Uh-huh.
all the time.
I mean, Washington State, there's two
Bad
things.
roads.
It's like earthquakes or volcanoes. That's pretty much it.
That's all. Tornadoes. We don't have any tornadoes. We don't have earthquakes. We have fires. We have pretty bad fires.
Oh, we have those here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get basically every natural disaster in the U.S.
Plus skinheads.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so with your question, like the music community is amazing here and it's really big. And I've been busy touring with my community. And so now that I live here, I'm branching out and I'm starting to get to know the folk scene and meeting different musicians. And yeah, I'm really loving it. And I'm excited to get really into it.
Yeah.
So, what projects are you working on?
I'm working on a bit. So I'm still, I run my record label, working on that over here and building opportunities for my other artists.
Can you mention artists?
Yeah. One of our girls, Maya, Maya, she is incredible electro soul singer and just a beautiful girl. She just wants to heal everyone through music and bring she's crazy energy. She just gets up on the stage and runs around and gets everyone going. And
Is she really small?
no, she's about my height. Is that
Okay,
is that
that's
really small?
kinda small.
What are you saying? You're just really tall. But
It's just like there's always tons of energy in little tiny people. They're like,
pocket rocket.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there another meaning for that? I saw that your eyelids go up. All right.
There's several other meanings.
Okay, cool. Yep, we're vibrators.
didn't
So
say it.
Maya's going to be releasing her first single to our label next month in July. So you can check that out. And I'm working on a new EP, which should be out this year. I'm really excited about it.
I've heard some of it. It sounds really cool.
Thanks. And I just started a Patreon. So for like $1 a month, people can get my entire solo back catalog, behind the scenes stuff, all my new releases. So a new release will cost about $12 or $15 anyway. So for $12 a year, you'll get all my old stuff and all my new stuff as it comes out, and also just like behind the scenes stuff. Or even today, you saw me, I was editing a live show that I did in San Diego this month, and I'm going to give that to my Patreon. So just, enjoying exploring that. You guys have a Patreon. It's
We
a
do.
pretty cool way to connect with your fans and provide them with content. So I'm just getting into that and finding like, oh, what kind of cool stuff can I give everyone, and getting into home recording. So I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time kind of curating stuff for that.
We're going to be putting out a t-shirt here really soon. I promise it. It's not going to be like fucking Cogdis's welcome mat. I mean, it's not going to take 2 years to make. Promise. I have to remake that, my image for the shirts. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
What is it going to say?
It's going to be our logo, but it's just going to be like a 4-tone. So we can do like a screen, screen, the t-shirt, silk screening.
Screen printing.
And, silk screening. Yeah. So, anyways, our logo, but not all the pretty mountains, but just like, very nice color variations. But anyways, yeah, just a nice setup that we can easily get done and make them look pretty and make them look good. Anyways, I'll shut up. Yeah. I am the NOS is definitely hitting me now.
Getting a little hyper.
Love it. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have to get still and calm down. Oh goodness, and we have people commenting about the show. What the fuck?
Does anyone have any questions?
Oh,
Holy shit! Yeah, we should all take a look. Okay, well, we're kind of pausing the show to look on social medias.
This is live. We are brought to you live.
Oh, geez, yeah, promise we're
one
actually
viewer
live, so-
still, so I'm guessing he'd be the one.
It's totally Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi, you're awesome, Daniel.
And so yeah, I expect you to be a Patreon on Shelley's account really soon.
And Lauren just waved.
Oh, someone
No.
said that they can't connect. Jeff Schwartz is trying to connect. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said your name. Sorry. Are you using Periscope?
Yeah,
This
on
is
YouTube. Hang out on air.
straight to YouTube. So
On YouTube. Right. Cool. Well, hopefully we'll get Jeff on board soon.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Do you have any
we're
upcoming
boring.
events? Oh, we should tell people about the rally. I'm going to be playing at a rally tomorrow morning. We're having Robert Ray is a local activist and organizer as well of a group.
Definitely.
And
he
podcaster and everything else.
Yeah. He has a giant bee in his bonnet, rightfully so, about getting In God We Trust out of our government offices and cop cars and all that. And there's going to be a rally down in Olympia, just for that.
And that's tomorrow.
That is
What time is it starting? I think.
Oh
11.
goodness!
I think it's from 11 o'clock in Olympia.
So Olympia, Washington, on that is going to be Wednesday the 29th. Yeah,
So
at
for those
11 a.m.
listening to the podcast, it was yesterday.
Yeah, pretty much, or later than that.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's at the Washington State Capitol on the North Lawn. Thanks, MJ. Tech support.
Yeah.
Tech support and atmosphere. She's like getting the smoke machine going.
Producer Meredith.
Hell yeah. Looks so cute with her little glasses on. No.
So yes, that'll be pretty great tomorrow.
Hell
Are you
yeah.
coming?
I gotta
You gotta
work.
work.
I have to work. I mean, like my bare amount of hours so that I can like actually go to a wedding in August in the other coast, South Carolina, and then I still have to take another 40 off at the end of the year because we're forced. So yeah, hooray, government work.
And who's the other guest? There's Becky and Sam
Yeah.
from Ask an Atheist will be guests at the rally. I'll be playing
Badass.
some songs. It's gonna be good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Come down, Jeff and Daniel.
And okay, so we are starting to run low on time. You're going to do some music for us, right?
Ooh.
And is that going to be a part of this live experience, or are we going to be piecing this in later?
I think we can play a live song here.
All right.
So I'm going to step out of the way a little bit.
Alright, how are we doing this? Should I get a mic for the guitar as well? This is so nice. So I'm going to tune my guitar and Wesley's going to tell you. This is going to be like my stage buddy. Like if you're on, like, okay, Wesley's going to tell a story now or a joke.
Yeah, because my microphone's way
I
over
just
there.
took the mic from him. That's all right. I won't feel it. This is called the tuning song.
Oh, very nice. Everybody's favorite guitar song.
How's it sound, Dustin?
Sounds good.
Cool. So how much time do we have? How many songs?
Oh, we've got time for. How long are the songs?
Songs are about 4 minutes each.
We could do 2.
Okay, cool. Well, the first song I like to play, I think is relevant to, because we were talking about it before. I'll play Sidelined, which is that song about body image and aesthetic expectations.
Wait, actually, before you start, would it be possible to switch the microphones? Because the PR40 is picking up the guitar way too well.
Okay. Now it gets old.
Some more gymnastics.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I didn't mean to destroy everything.
Ooh.
Yeah, a couple seconds. Better?
Hello. I had to put your foot on it. Oh no, you're good. All right, cool. Well, this one is called Sideline. You want a skinny lover. You want a skinny lover. So I find I have the wrong body. I have the wrong body. Even though I have the right mind. You want a skinny lover. You want a skinny lover, and that's perfectly fine. But it means you will always want some other body more than you want mine. More than you want mine. But this is familiar, it's who we've become. Slaves to aesthetic, this is the tune that we hum. Can we change who we are? Can we remove the filter from over our hearts? If you're not beautiful, you'll be sidelined. We let go of our pride, of how we look on the outside. Anyways, I thought love was supposed to be blind. Be blind. You want a skinny lover. You want a skinny lover, and it's perfectly fine. Means I have the wrong body, have the wrong body. Even though I am the perfect kind. But this is familiar, it's who we've become. Slaves to aesthetic, this is the tune that we hum.
Can we change who we are? Can we remove the filter from over our hearts? If you're not beautiful, you'll be sidelined. Can we let go of our pride, of how we look on the outside? Anyways, I thought love was supposed to be blind, be blind. For the first time in my life, I wished I was somebody else. All those bottles of teenage self-consciousness come tumbling down from the shelf. But this is familiar, it's who we've become. Slaves to aesthetic, this is the tune. This is the tune that we hum. Can we change who we are? Can we remove the filter from over? If you're not beautiful, you'll be sidelined. Can we let go of our pride, of how we look on the outside? Anyways, I thought love was supposed to be blind, be blind. Be blind.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Totally can't hear if you're saying something.
Oh, hey.
Very nice. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah, Jeff said he can't get on.
Sorry, Jeff.
Sorry. Oh, Link.
Okay.
Let me see if I can see us. And then I'll play another song, I think.
While we're waiting, I got this amazing T-shirt. Because they're both bounty hunters.
Interesting.
I know there's at least 2 people out there laughing and liking it.
It's pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna play another song. It's a song that I played at the Reason Rally. I've been really vibing on it lately, and it's from my record. It's the album, and it talks about some of the dangers that are inherent in a belief in our afterlife and a focus on the next life instead of a focus on this life, which is the only one we know we have for sure. Follow the guidebook for an afterlife. Which one do I try? Which one do I try? I'd like to believe that I'll never die, but I can't comply. No, I can't comply. Appointed representatives of their own imaginings in the sky. They want to usher in the messianic age. They don't mind if it's brought on by nuclear rage. They are so sure of their ability to outlive the utility of their bodies. But just remember that was the last thought in the brain of every suicide bomber in every hijacked plane. Follow the guidebook for an afterlife. Which one do I try? Which one do I try? I like to believe that I'll never die, but I can't comply. No, I can't comply.
comply. Thousands and thousands are humming that the second coming's coming. And environmental responsibility is succumbing to suicidal longing for paradise. Can't they see it's already before our eyes? And all that makes us who we are, we find cannot survive without a mind. We just been through it all with the knowledge that you only have. Follow the guidebook for an afterlife. Which one do I try? Which one do I try? I like to believe that I'll never die, but I can't comply. No, I can't comply. From the day you were born, you are going to die. It's not a pleasant thought at all, but the way that I deal with it is to treasure each moment with my surroundings and those that I love. I spend my days trying to engage with the world, to learn as much about everything as I can, using the body of knowledge which is our shared heritage to further understand the historical and evolutionary context of man. To hold revelation in a higher place is to spit in the face of those who chose to dedicate their lives to enrich our own. Follow the guidebook for an afterlife. Which one do I try? Which one do I try? I like to believe that I'll never die, but I can't comply. No, I can't comply. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim, Mi HaMelech, Mi HaMelech, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, Mi HaMelech, Mi HaMelech, Ani HaMelech.
Very nice.
Okay, so this totally reminds me of one of my favorite memories ever, and that is being in a small Kansas hotel getting stoned and Shelley just like singing to us for hours.
Nice.
Or it might have just been like off my ass, and
That was really fun.
it was a lot of fun just laying there on the bed just listening. It's awesome.
Yeah, stoned audiences are the best. They really feel it.
I bet. All right. Well, Shelley, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
We
Nice
are.
to speak to you again.
Oh, yes, definitely. We're out of time, but there is one bit of feedback I saw on iTunes today that I do want to address.
Oh,
Since apparently this person, well, you can't respond to iTunes comments any other way than on the show. And Miss Ginger 58 apparently hasn't been listening all that closely. So I want to make sure, Miss Ginger 58, I hope you are still listening. But I'll read the comment or the review. It was a 2-star. Love the regular podcast, but I can't stand this chick's pet project geek thing. I have been listening for some time, and I think this is a 5-star podcast, but the sci-fi geek thing needs to go, please. If they want to do that, then they need to make a separate podcast for it. Once that nonsense stops, I'll change my review to 5 stars. Well, Miss Ginger 58, painting it as this chick's pet project isn't accurate. It was my idea, not my wife's. We have posted 2 episodes of Sci-Fi Nomads, and this is to gauge feedback before we buy the extra domain name, hosting plan, etc. This is something that I have already explained several times on the show, which apparently you missed. I even put out a special 2-minute bit less than a week ago. It was a little over a week ago.
all right,
Anyway,
Don't
I
feed the
put out
trolls.
a 2
Don't
minutes
feed the trolls.
to assure you that people like you who don't like sci-fi, that Atheist Nomads is not changing. Fortunately,
we're
the
not
first-
going anywhere.
the first person to complain had the decency to email us rather than hope that I check iTunes. I'm sorry you had to click skip twice now, but that was a calculated risk I took to try to gauge and generate some interest and excitement for a second podcast before releasing it. However, have no fear. There will be no more Sci-Fi Nomads episodes going up on this feed. It will have its own this weekend.
All right, so get your ass back over to iTunes and change that to a 5-star.
Yes.
Thank you. Maybe. Okay.
All right, that's all.
Anyways. End rant. All right.
Yes, end rant. Shelley, thank you again for coming on. It was a blast.
Freaking amazing.
I'll see you guys in another 4 years. Well, I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll maybe personally more often than that, but
Yeah.
have me back on the show anytime. It's always great to chat.
All right. Well, we've got a quote of every 136 episodes at this point, so we'll have to see if we can do better than that.
Yeah.
And
The next
for
one.
our listeners, we'll be back next week with news.
Yay.